All right, so with number 49 here, we're entering a new section, and so the directions are to rationalize the denominator, and they tell us to assume that all variables represent positive real numbers. So they've given us 6 over radical 5. And the reason they want us to rationalize the denominator, or what it means to rationalize the denominator, is to rewrite this without a radical in the denominator. So we cannot have an answer with a radical in the denominator. So what we're going to do is multiply this fraction by 1. And remember, we can multiply anything by 1 without changing the original value of what we started with. But we're not going to just multiply by 1 and be done, because we would end up with exactly what we started with. 6 times 1 is 6 over radical 5. The way that we're going to multiply by 1 is by taking this denominator, in this case radical 5, and multiplying both our numerator and our denominator by that radical, right? Anything over itself is 1. So radical 5 over radical 5 is still 1, except now when we multiply, we're going to be able to get rid of the radical in the denominator. So because we're multiplying by 1, radical 5 over radical 5 is 1, we're not changing the initial value of what we started with. We're simply able to clear this radical from the denominator. So let's take a look and see what happens. So 6 times radical 5, well, that gives us 6 radical 5 over, and now radical 5 times radical 5 is radical 25. And then simplifying for the last time, we have 6 radical 5 over, and then radical 25. Well, 25 is a perfect square, so this is going to come out free, clean, and clear as a 5. And then we have our final answer. And so you can see our final answer now, the denominator does not have a radical. It's okay to have a radical in our numerator, but we do not want to have a radical in the denominator. All right, and don't be tempted to cancel these things out. Just because they're 5s, we can't cancel them out. One is under a radical, one is not. So this is in lowest terms. So number 49, 6 radical 5 over 5. And if this is a little tricky, go ahead and watch the next couple examples where we are rationalizing, and I think by the end you'll be comfortable with them. So let's take a look at number 50 in the next video. I'll see you there.